What is up, y'all? Philly Fly Show checking in here. We're kicking it at Railway Production Studios like we always do, and we're here for another UFC fight night. Sorry this video's getting out so late and the editing's getting out so late. I just have been feeling like crap all week. Had some diabetes issues that I had to deal with Monday and Tuesday, and then this smoke came. I live in Minnesota, and the smoke came through, and it's just killing my lungs and killing my voice. If I'm a little nasally or I end up hacking, sorry, I can't help it. And plus, in this room without any airflow flying through right now, because whenever I gotta record, I gotta shut off my AC unit and all my fans in my room, and it gets a little stuffy in here. So we're gonna run through this pretty quickly, and it's gonna be a quick show. And unfortunately, I gotta do it because I feel like crap. My nose is just plugged up and I just am nasally and I can't stand it. But we're going to do a small little review about last week. Last week was such a good card. Rolling through the whole card and we're not talking about the main event. We are not talking about the main event. But the whole card was good up to the main event. And I'll give a shout out to, for one, Paddy Pimblett. What the hell did you do to BSD? You choked that mother trucker out. And then Corey Sandhagen, man, Corey got injured with that leg. It's like a leg lock style thing. He tore his hamstring. You could just tell, dude should have checked out of that fight. Actually, he had no reason to sit there and actually try to fight that fight, because if he wasn't injured, I think he wins that fight. But that's called the fight game. Things happen. And look at the Justin Gaethje Max Holloway fight. Justin Gaethje never gets knocked out like that unless Max lands that spinning kick and breaks his nose. For one, Justin was dipping his head almost every time. Max caught onto it, threw the spinning kick toward the body, and it landed on the nose. He got lucky. Max can't do that again. I'm telling you that right now. Max will not. If him and Justin Gaethje ever fought again, Justin beats the snot out of him, because that first round was almost, it's a fluky style thing. It doesn't happen all the time, and you're not going to be able to do it every time. So that was my badness on Corey Sandhagen and Benoit Saint Denis. Gable Stevenson looked good, but again, he's fighting a guy who probably is not going to make it in the UFC. So he's got to get some step up in competition. But we're going to talk about the Conor McGregor thing really quickly, and I mean really quickly. Conor, I don't know if I ever want to see him in the ring again. That's 2 times back to back where something happens and it's your own fault. Your own mess up. Coming in at 170 and jumping out with a spinning heel kick, spinning frontal kick to the body. It just doesn't add up, dude. Your skill set has, for one, never been that. 2, you've always come out and started with those kicks, but you never do a spinning one. You do the fake right leg, hit him with the left leg. Fake left leg, hit him with the right leg. Come out leg kicks. You always do something like that. You don't come out and do a spinning body, whatever the hell that was supposed to be, and tear your knee instantly. And I don't want to hear it from people that are like, oh man, he had his knee torn before the fight. There's all this evidence for it. I'm telling you right now, Dana would have canceled that fight and not let that happen. I will guarantee it, because for one, Dana knows what the UFC fans want. He knows things about fighters most of the time. Sometimes dudes hide it, like TJ Dillashaw and a couple others. And I get it. Some guys are good, but not this level of fight. It's not going to happen. You're not going to go in there pre-injured. Now, I could see this. I will say this. I could see this. I could see him getting an injury like 6 weeks ago, a small one, where it wasn't supposed to be anything big. Dana's like, hey, and we'll play it out. You keep training. In a couple weeks, we'll see where you're at. He felt better, and Dana let it go forward. I could see that, but not that his knee was tore up freaking a week or 2 ago and Dana still let it happen. No, it just doesn't happen. So that's my opinion on it. We're going to jump into the UFC fight night. Dricus du Plessis versus Kamaru Usman. It's a middleweight fight. Dricus is back in there. Number 1 ranked Dricus. Man, there is really not, I didn't do rankings on everybody on this. I could have, but But only been like 3 or 4 fighters, and I want to run through. I just, like I said, guys, I don't feel good. I'm right now, all of a sudden, I feel like hacking. So we're going to jump into it. Match like number 11. Now, there is 12 legs on here now. They added a fight like a day and a half ago. I decided not to put that on this because I didn't think the fight was even going to go through. They talked about it, and somehow they got it sanctioned. I don't like it, so I'm not putting it on this card. Plus, it's 2 guys making their UFC debut, and they're both undefeated fighters. Nothing known about the prospect, so they're not added on here. It's only 11 legs, and so it's going to be a little wonky if you look at it online when I'm saying match like 11, and it's probably match like 12, or vice versa, ECT. Match like number 11 here is a flyweight female fight between Anna Malsano versus Dion Barboza. Now, we just watched Barboza fight very recently, and she's a killer, dog. She is on one. Definitely can't wait to see her in there. Her counterpart in Malsano is making her UFC debut. She's 5-0 in her last 5, a 6-1 fighter with a plus 410 money line on her. Her counterpart in Barboza's got a negative 590 money line. She's 3-2 in her last 5. She's 3-2 in the UFC period, and she's got a decision win coming off Gatto. That's a good win, and she just looked like a beast doing it. So I just don't see her losing to a girl. She's making her UFC debut and got way more experience than her. Dion Barboza gets a win on Saturday. 3 out of 5 on the confidence level. She can get her hand raised. Match like number 10 is a heavyweight male division bout between RJ Harris and Alvin Hines. Alvin is a negative 142 favorite, whereas RJ is a plus 116 underdog. RJ's making his UFC debut. He is a 5-0 fighter. It's a 5-0 in period in his record. And he's coming from a very good undercard MMA promotion that's not at the elite level at the UFC, but it's a good promotion to come through, and good prospects come out of here in LFA. And I really can't wait to start going to some more LFA fights out at Mystic Lake. They've been having them more and more frequently, so I feel like LFA is going to make a bigger home in Minnesota, which I really like. And his counterpart RJ Harris's counterpart in Alvin Hines is 4-1 in his last 5. He's 0-1 in the UFC, losing a decision loss to Denise. It's not a bad loss to guy to lose to, but you got to get in there and get some wins if you want to stay in the UFC. Same thing with RJ. I'm picking RJ Harris. I just think that he's got a little more power in his strikes from what I can put together from the small videos that I caught of his. And I really like his game plan, so I'm going to go with RJ, but I'm only 1 out of 5 on the comments that RJ gets his hand raised. Match like number 9 here is a flyweight male division fight between Alden Correa and Stuart Nickel. Now, Stuart Nickel is a plus 680 underdog. Grabbing my pen here because I literally wrote plus 680, forgot the 0, so I'm putting the 0 in there so I know. He's a plus 680 underdog, and then Alden Correa is a negative 1200 favorite. Obviously, Correa is a way more well-rounded fighter over Nickel. Correa is 4-0-1 in his last 5, 2-0 in the UFC, and on a 3-fight win streak. His counterpart in Stewart is 2-3 in his last 5, 0-3 in the UFC, and on a 3-fight lose streak. Cannot seem to put it together, and the UFC keeps giving him chances. So that's a good thing. That means they were very highly touted on the guy, but he just hasn't lived up to the hype. And fighting a guy in Alden Correa, if he can get a win there, that's worth a little $20 sprinkle, guys. At that plus 680 is totally worth it because the guy does have enough skill to win. Just can't put it together, and against a guy like Correa, he's not putting it together. So, guys, take that negative 1200 cash to the bank. 3 out of 5 on the comp, so he gets his hand raised. We got match like number 8 here. It is a light heavyweight bout between Levi Rodriguez and Filippo Franco. Felipe is a plus 132 underdog, whereas Levi Rodriguez is a negative 162 favorite. Levi is... I just thought I read the one before. Levi is 4-0-1 in his last 5 like the other guy, but he's making his UFC debut. He's only 5-0-1 record, period, so he's very, very raw in MMA. His counterpart, Felipe, is 3-2 in his last 5, 0-1 in his UFC debut, and he lost to a guy named Pinto. Pinto is a beast, so it's not a bad loss, but at the same time, you got to get in there and show who you are. And Felipe really wants to do that, but he's making, like, the guy he's fighting against in Levi is no slouch, man. Levi's going to win this fight. Take that negative 162. You cash that to the bank, but again, you're not going to be very confident on 1 out of 5 on the confidence level. He can get his hand raised. Matchup number 7 here is a welterweight bout, male division fight. Jean-Paul Lebanonzi versus Saikon or Seokin Ko. Now, Ko is a negative 225 favorite, where his counterpart in Jean Paul is a plus 180 underdog. Jean Paul is 5-0 in his last 5, 1-0 in the UFC, and he's on a 5-fight win streak. So, heading into this fight with a good confidence level, but his counterpart is a very, very good MMA fighter. He's 5-0 in his last 5, 2-0 in the UFC. He's on a 6-fight win streak. I think Ko gets a big, big win here. I honestly think Ko puts him out. Ko's hands are nasty and dangerous, and you don't want to fight with that guy. And John Paul, he's one of those guys, he'll stand up and fight with you, so Ko's going to get in there, and Ko's going to beat his ass. 3 out of 5 on the confidence level. He can get his hand raised. Matchup number 6 here is a featherweight bout. This is a banger fight. This is a don't-miss fight, period, guys. Austin Bashi versus Jose Miguel Delgado. Now, it's a featherweight bout. Austin's a negative 105. Pick him. No, Delgado, negative 115. Pick him with the slight edge. Austin's 4-1 in his last 5. 1-1 in the UFC. He's coming off a submission win against John Giannis, and Giannis is a good fighter, but Bashi's just outperformed him, period. Jose Delgado's 4-1 in his last 5, 3-1 in the UFC. He's coming off a decision win against Andre Touchy-Feely, and that's a good win to get under your belt. He does have a loss, obviously, in his last couple fights, but hey, you gotta lose some to win some, and sometimes you gotta lose to win, or lose to learn, and lose to become a champion. Ask Justin Gaethje about that one. But anyways, yeah, this one was really hard because Austin is well-rounded, good striking, got power behind his strikes. Delgado's got the speed and the smartness to beat up anybody. He's very, very smart MMA fighter. Even when he was losing in his loss, you could just see that he's fluent in just knowing how to fight. So Jose Delgado is going to be my pick here. Bashi he's raw, man. He's very, very raw. Very good up-and-coming prospect, but you got to fight a guy like Delgado. I think the speed's going to be way too much for him. Delgado gets the win, 3 out of 5 on the confidence level. He can get his hand raised. This next fight is another banger fight. I cannot wait for this fight. And it's another featherweight prospect fight. Tommy McMillan versus Alberto Montez. Now, Montez is a plus 128 underdog. His counterpart in Tommy's a negative 158 favorite. Tommy is 5-0 in his last 5, 1-0 in the UFC. He is a 10-0 undefeated fighter. Nobody's been able to crack that case yet. Alberto's going to have a shot, but I just don't see it happening. Obviously, a little foreshadow there. Alberto 4-1 in his last 5, 1-0 in the UFC. He is on a 4-fight win streak. Yo, him and Tommy are going to, these prospects, somebody's going to have to lose. I mean, they could draw, but somebody's going to have to lose this fight, and I honestly do not see Tommy McMillan losing that fight. He's got the hands, he's got the speed. Does he got the grappling experience? I can't say he does it yet. His counterpart in Alberto, though, is almost the same way. He's got speed, he's got power, he's got hands, but he can grapple. So we might have to see Tommy do a little bit of defensive grappling, or Tommy might get taken down. We might see him get just beat up for a whole round. He's going to have to figure out how to not get taken down the next round. But again, Tommy's going to get that win because Alberto he likes to get hit, and you can't get hit by Tommy. You cannot. You literally cannot. 3 out of 5 on the confidence level. Tommy gets his hand raised. Matchup number 4 is a women's strawweight bout. It is a good fight here. We get Tabitha Baby Shark Rishi versus Fatima Klein. Now, Baby Shark is a plus 320 underdog. Fatima Klein's a negative 430 favorite. I get why the odds makers have it as Klein is the favorite, but a 4-1 favorite over Baby Shark, that's dumb. That's just not smart. I get it if the money's coming in and it's just making it so much favor in Klein. I do get that, but 4-1, 2-1 maybe, 4-1, nah, yeah, no, just no. Tabitha Ricci 3-2 in her last 5, 7-4 in the UFC. She's coming off a decision loss at Gibraltar, which I just don't know how she really lost that fight, but she did. Gibraltar is that good. I just see Baby Shark as a better fighter, and I don't know how she lost that fight. Her counterpart in Fatima Climb, 4-1 in her last 5. 3-1 in the UFC and on a 3-fight lose streak. Her first fight she lost, and then she's on a 3-fight win streak. She's going to face more adversity in her career. I know it. I just feel it. People have her too highly touted in that grappling. Baby Shark can grapple defense. Baby Shark can grapple offense. Baby Shark is just well-rounded. The only thing that's not elite is her striking. Well, when you got two girls that can grapple each other, it's probably going to be some striking, and I like Tabitha Ricci's striking better than I like Fatima Climb's striking. And I think Tabitha's just going to put it all together and cash that money line plus 320 to the bank. I'm not confident on it because Fatima Climb is a very good fighter, but 1 out of 5 on that confidence level. Tabitha can get her hand raised after the fight. Jump into a third fight of the evening, lightweight bout between Chase Hooper and Mitch Ramirez. Ramirez is a plus 270 underdog. Chase Hooper, negative 355 favorite. Look, man, I don't know what's up with Chase Hooper. Like, he just did not, that last fight, he has not looked like the guy that went on the surge. He came into the UFC with this great grappling, and just people could not grapple with him, and he was submitting people. But then people were like, hey, let's get him to strike. And they get him to strike, beat his ass very badly. Shows that he can't strike. So then he goes in the camp, and his last couple fights, he's worked on that striking, and he's just beat dudes up with it. Dude came in at 20 years old. I think he's 25 now or something like that, getting into his prime. And if he can get that striking up there, you are not going to be able to beat this guy. Like, if he can have elite speed striking, power striking, good, crisp, just everything, you're screwed in it. It didn't show in his last fight. Just did not show. Chase is 3-2 in his last 5. He's 5-5 in the UFC. He's on a 2-fight lose streak. Hasn't been able to put what he's put together in previous fights on paper. Mitch Ramirez 2-3 in his last 5, 0-2 in the UFC, and a 2-fight lose streak. It's a good. I'll call it. It's a warm up fight for Chase. If Chase loses this fight, I don't know. Maybe he's got to change camps at that point. I don't know what could happen, but Chase Hooper needs to put that striking together, put the guy on the ground, and then submit the crap out of him, because Mitch is good, but Mitch is more of a striker. He's got grappling defense, but it ain't at the elite level that Chase's grappling offense is at. Chase just going to get a big win on Saturday, but he's got to put it together, and he's got to do something big. He's got to get us thinking about Chase Hooper again, and he can get back up and maybe take on a top 15 guy eventually. 3 out of 5 though on the confidence level that Chase can get his hand raised. Now we get to the co-main event of the evening. It's a middleweight bout between Jared Cannonier and Christian Leroy Duncan. Leroy Duncan, negative 375 favorite. Jared Cannonier plus 205 underdog, or 285 underdog. Look, man, Jared is 2-3 in his last 5. He's got an 11-9 UFC record, and he's coming off a decision loss to Michael Venom Page, which is not a bad loss guy to lose to, but Jared, in his last fight, the speed seems like it's losing. The age is creeping up there, and he just doesn't look like the same fighter anymore. Leroy Duncan has been on a flippin' tear, beating up dudes. He's 4-1 in his last 5. He's got a 7-2 UFC record. He's on a 4-fight win streak on just knocking dudes out and putting it together. I'm on the Christian Leroy Duncan bandwagon here. I just think that Jared's going to try to stand and bang with him, and that's not good. Jared is still good at counter-striking. He's still got enough power to knock somebody out, but when you're only counter-striking and you're not offensive striking, or you're not putting like a 3 to 5 punch combos together, you're just not going to win fights. You can't just throw a 1-2, and Jared's just trying to consume his energy and be able to fight these fights and even get in these 5-round fights, but this isn't a 5-round fight, it's a 3-round fight, so his gas tank should be there for him a little better, but again, he's just been on that counter-striking game, and I don't like it, and you're not going to be able to land that on Leroy Duncan. He's just going to put you out with that power and his speed, and he's just too good, just way, way too good to lose on Saturday. 3 out of 5 on the confidence level. He gets his hand raised. Main event of the evening. I finally get to talk about this fight. Let's get it out there. Dricus du Plessis versus Kamaru Usman at a middleweight contender. Now, Dricus is the number 1 contender. Finally getting back in there after his loss to Chimaev for that title, and he just got boat raced in that fight. It wasn't even a fight in that thing. I guess in the 5th round he ended up landing. It was a little bit in the 5th round, but the first 4 rounds were just him getting just beat down. Kamaru Usman plus 194. Look, man, I heard about this fight. I heard the rumor first, and I said, I don't want to see this fight. And then they announced it. I got a little excited about it, and then doing some research. From what I have gathered in intelligence is that Kamaru could not make the weight at 170 anymore. He fought at 170, killed himself to do it against Buckley his last fight, and I heard his knees are just not, he's just not able to get down there in the weight anymore. So he had to move to middleweight. But he got served like a platter. Like, if you want to make this guy get to a title shot instantly, this is the way you do it. You come in, you let him fight Plessis. Let's just say he gets out, wins. I don't even care if we'll just say decision win. Say he gets a 5-round decision win, beats him down almost, kind of like Chimaev did. He's gonna be right up there in the title containmentship, whatever you want to call it. He's gonna be a contender, okay? But for me, just beating Dricus du Plessis at middleweight, even though I know you're a great welterweight champion, you're one of my favorite all-time fighters, but I don't like that you would get a title shot just by winning over Dricus. If you beat Dricus and then you beat someone like Chimaev, or let's just say Sean Strickland, Chimaev fight again, Chimaev wins, and you got to go beat someone like Sean Strickland and then get your title shot. I don't like that they're jumping him in there. I know he's got the record for it and he's got the talent to do it, but I don't like it. Dricus is 4-1 in his last 5. He's only got one loss in the UFC, and that's the Chimaev loss. And again, that was only a decision loss, but Chimaev couldn't put him out of there, but also Chimaev just beat him down, so it wasn't a fair fight. Kamaru's 2-3 in his last 5. 16-3 in the UFC. He's coming off a decision win against Buckley, like I said, but I just don't like it. I don't like it. And here's what I think is going to happen. For one, I think Kamaru is going to underestimate Dricus' grappling. Cool, he got beat up by Chimaev, and Kamaru fought Chimaev at welterweight. Ran it. No, at middleweight. No, it was at middleweight. Yeah, no, it was at middleweight. And Usman pretty much won that fight, but they gave it to Chimaev still. I just don't see, Usman doesn't have the striking anymore. He hasn't put on the striking enough for me to fall in love with him again. He's not going to be able to knock out Dricus. If they go to grappling, he is the smaller guy in Kamaru. Dricus is the bigger guy. Dricus, I think his grappling is up there. And I just think that's going to equalize the grappling out, and I think it's going to be a striking match. And when you come down to striking, I don't trust Kamaru striking compared to Dricus's. And Dricus seems to be able to put it together when the odds are against him, besides the Chimaev fight. So I'm going to go with Dricus here. Dricus is going to get a win. I think he's going to put out Kamaru Usman. I honestly do. I don't think Kamaru is going to be able to stand in there. I just think it's going to be nasty. Middleweight's a different contender for people, too, coming from welterweight. We've seen it. And Dricus' hands are nasty. So Dricus gets the win. But I'm not confident. Well, I am confident on it. 3 out of 5, my confidence level that he gets his hand raised. But after sitting there thinking on it, I might want to move that to a 1 because Kamaru can still fight. All right, guys, this went way longer than I thought. It's a normal podcast. I'm sorry. I like to talk. We'll see y'all you know what? Next week I might not be doing a card because it is a very early card. It starts at like 11 a.m. I'm not big on starting those cards. You guys let me know if you want me to do a card next week. If not, I might skip it. But if you let me know that you want to do it, might do it. Peace out, y'all. Shout out to Right Productions for always making this happen.